Thanks for joining us for the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm Kerdisha St. Louis. Coming up, the Adult Education Division works with other partners to conduct a competency-based education training and assessment workshop, and the Discover Dominica Authority embarks on a new marketing campaign, Seeking Adventures. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this.
Destroying mosquito breeding sites. The Aedes aegypti mosquito that causes dengue fever, chikungunya, and Zika lives in and around homes and places where people gather. Check your premises on a weekly basis for any collection of water, inside and outside, that may encourage breeding of mosquitoes. Here's a checklist to help you search and destroy mosquito breeding sites. Empty or cover up all water containers, especially plastic buckets and drums. Clean up discarded containers, plastic bags and coconut shells. Get rid of tires or use them to plant flowers. Empty and clean containers used by pets. Throw away water in plant saucers and dish drainers. Use wet sand in flower vases instead of water. Clean your roof gutters and drains. Spread oil on pools of water. Cover and seal septic tanks, soakaways and water storage tanks. Fill concrete block holes with sand or concrete. Ensure all manholes are properly sealed. Ensure that all drum covers fit securely. Punch holes in cans before disposing. Help keep Dominica clean and healthy. Stop breeding mosquito today. Keep Zika away.
Thanks for staying with us. A preliminary report of findings on studies done on indirect peak discharge of Dominica's rivers affected by Tropical Storm Erica was presented today, Friday. Indirect peak discharge is the measurement that determines the height of the flow of water during flooding. Following the event of August 27, 2015, the government of Dominica contracted consultant Fred Ogden to do the analysis. He presented his findings at the APU building to stakeholders from the Ministry of Health and the Environment, the Forestry Division, and the Lands and Surveys, among others. Chief Medical Officer Dr. David Johnson spoke on behalf of the Honorable Minister for Health.
The island's mountainous landscape presents significant engineering challenges, particularly for road construction. In addition to the island's steep topography, undeveloped and damaged infrastructure has been a key challenge to reducing vulnerability to disasters. Critical public infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and water supply systems, as well as health and education facilities, remain vulnerable to climate change related impacts, including flooding and landslides. This vulnerability arises in part from the failure to consider natural hazard and disaster risk in designing and constructing infrastructure, and from deferring maintenance.
The flow data from the studies on 16 rivers across the island revealed that most of the flash flooding during Erica was prompted by huge landslides which formed dams of water that weakened and broke. One of the main aims of the study is to help with the rebuilding process and with future engineering and construction designs of replacement bridges.
Results derived from this activity will also be used to support engineering designs for the rehabilitation and reconstruction of not only bridges but roads, drainage, landslip, and other critical infrastructure under the National Reconstruction and Recovery Program following Tropical Storm Erica.
Consultant Fred Ogden explained that Tropical Storm Erica was unpredictable and difficult to forecast since it was a very disorganized storm. He advised the collaboration between Dominica and Martinique for radar images to assist with better forecasting. His findings revealed that a significant portion of rainfall occurred in the interior of the island. Ogden described the rainfall and the peak flow during Erica as incredibly high. Ogden also used the opportunity to build the capacity of local stakeholders, including 16 engineers from government, the WASCO and the DOMLEC. He is expected to present the final draft report to government before the end of March. In more news, the Adult Education Division has collaborated with the Program Management Office of the Caribbean Examination Council to conduct a competency-based education training and assessment workshop. The program targeted the coordinators and instructors of the various Caribbean certificate level of secondary competence in understanding their role as they relate to the proper delivery of the CCSLC, CBETA, and the CVQ certification. The workshop was held on Thursday at the Public Service Union Building and was conducted by Assistant Registrar in the Syllabus and Curriculum Development Division of the Caribbean Examination Council, Dr. Margaret Miles. In an interview with the GIS News, a participant and facilitator, Philbert Joseph, gave details about the program.
It is a program that gives a chance to students from first to third form who have certain skills and competencies who might not necessarily be geared towards the CSEC exam in fifth form, but who will get a chance in third form to sit an exam so that at the end of that exam they can have, say, a certificate which would enable them first and foremost to get employment out there in the world of work.
Joseph said the program does not only benefit secondary school students, but is open for adults to grasp the opportunity of gaining a better education at a higher level.
The purpose of this program today really is to give people out there, especially adult learners, and it's been dubbed a second chance actually. So the CCSLC, in conjunction with the CVQs, the Caribbean Vocational Qualifications, those two would enable people who are maybe not in the mainstream secondary education system, but adults out there who are desirous of improving themselves, of qualifying themselves, not necessarily in terms of pure academics, but in obtaining competencies, because the stress here is not to have somebody or people pass or fail, it's to have them reach certain levels of competencies so that they can move from a lower level up to a higher level, so that at the end of the day that would enable them to develop their self-esteem, their whole knowledge base, their whole competencies, so that they can be better persons.
Field supervisor in the Adult Education Division, Francesca Joseph, said that the division has placed emphasis on this program.
The division has been in operation for a number of years now. We are under the Ministry of Social Services, and the reason why we're here today is to implement a program of activities with the various facilitators around the island in collaboration with the CXC Program Management Office. We are having this workshop here to encourage, to enhance the skills of our facilitators so they can go out there and pass on the knowledge gained to our many learners out in the various districts around Dominica.
She noted that the program has been a success and has assisted participants to become better individuals.
A number of our participants who go to write that CCSLC exam get 100% pass. But what we felt together with CXC, that we needed to upgrade our teachers, to get them on board, and to encourage would-be facilitators, persons who are out there are not really facilitating, but they intend to. We are also training them, so when they go out to the classroom, they can ensure that the learners receive the benefit of that training.
The program has been in effect for 5 years and introduced to most secondary schools on island. The subjects offered are mathematics, English, social studies, integrated science, and a foreign language. CEO of the Discover Dominica Authority and Director of Tourism, Colin Piper, is giving the first ever Yachty Appreciation Week an A+. In an interview on Thursday, he notes, however, that the first activity is still considered a test run, preceding a bigger and better results.
In respect to the Yachty's Appreciation Week, the way I approach these things is the first year is always a pilot year to make sure you dot I's and cross T's and that your logistics are in place and you work out all the infrastructure that you need to, so that henceforth it can grow. We had, specifically for the Yachty Appreciation Week, we had about 15 yachts on island. There were other yachts here in Dominica, and once they got wind of what was happening, then they participated. So we had close to about 100 people. Our goal for the next year is to triple that, is to have at least 45 yachts. We've already picked the date, which I think is the 12th to the 18th or 19th of February, 2017, correct? And working with the PAYS, the Portsmouth Association of Yacht Services, as well as their stakeholders from the yachting community. We've already begun the process of sensitizing people that that's a date that you want to be in Dominica. So we will again go back and look at the on-island excursions and all the activities that were a part of that appreciation week, and try to improve on that.
He believes the economic benefits from the yachting industry are limitless.
The yachting industry is the silent, industry, but it is very beneficial to Dominica from an economic standpoint because of all the services that are required and because of the length of time that they stay anchored in Dominica. You know, they get off their yachts every day and they have to eat, they go on tours, they purchase things, they have to mend their sails, they have to buy water, so there's in some cases fuel. So it's a sector of the tourism and the tourism, the travel, the hospitality industry that can generate benefits for Dominica.
You're watching National Focus. Some more when we return. Welcome back. The Discover Dominica Authority's new marketing campaign, Seeking Adventures, is expected to appeal to travelers looking for something different and who are inclined to the untouched nature that Dominica has to provide. In an exclusive interview with the CEO of the DDA and Director of Tourism, Colin Piper, he gave a sneak preview of this campaign.
We have been working on a global campaign, and the general public will hear much more about it soon. It's in the pilot phases. Right now we're doing testing on the particular web banners that we're going to put out there. We're finalizing the microsite. But the essence of the campaign is that we will go out and put web banners on a number of sites out there that visitors on the internet would frequent, and that we think in frequenting those websites, if we advertise Dominica, that it will resonate well with them. We anticipate that they would click on those banners, and when they click on the banners, they would come through to the microsite. And then in the microsite, we're able to inform them a little more about hiking, diving, soft adventure, cuisine, culture on Dominica, and also give them an opportunity now to review some of the hotel specials and some of the specials that the tour operators and the travel agents are selling on Dominica. So we have that going on in our source markets of Canada, US, Germany. France is just about to go live. Germany is just about to go live, and also the French West Indies and the Caribbean. So it's a complete global campaign in terms of its reach, and it is intended to leave no stone unturned, leave no doubt about the fact that Dominica is in fact ready and open for business.
Part of this campaign is raising the awareness of travelers about Dominica, and currently Dominica is being featured in the March 2016 issue of the Backpacker magazine, an American publication which provides information on wilderness hiking and adventure to ultimate adventurers.
The Backpacker magazine article again is important because it speaks to not only the hike product but how to get involved in terms of enjoying those activities, and it calls out a number of people who are a part of the hiking scene in Dominica. So we also, besides trying to get the destination noticed, we try where we can to get a special mention for stakeholders in the industry so that they too can benefit financially from the article.
This is what the Director of Tourism had to say in response to questions on the efficiency of the campaign.
One of the things that is not necessarily known about what we do is a lot of the plumbing and infrastructure that happens behind the scenes, and you raise a good point, which is, you know, how instantaneous is the feedback, like when people see a magazine, do they come because? We can only get that information when we do surveys or by word of mouth, and we do surveys on an intermittent basis. So I cannot say without a doubt that I have proof that the Backpacker magazine is bringing people in, but the very reason that we do these things is because in general, that is what happens. Whenever you get a third-party endorsement, such as an article being written in a magazine, people read it, and it goes into their brain, and then it could be a year or 2 or 3 later that they realize, oh, I remember reading that article, and that seemed like an interesting place. So sometimes the feedback is not as instantaneous as when you do a promotion, you know, $200 off airfare to Dominica. So one of the things that we're continuing to do as a foundation in 2016 is to try to put some of these technologies in place that when people visit our website and look at certain things, we have a better way to monitor whether it results in actual visits. But a lot of what we do is to raise the profile, to raise the awareness of the destination, so that you know, when people are considering the Caribbean for a vacation, that Dominica is part of that consideration set. And so we do that through a lot of awareness building campaigns, specifically on the internet through web banners and Google Words and, you know, AdWords and those types of things, and pushing particular websites on social media, those types of things. So that's kind of what happens, you know, behind the scenes in terms of trying to raise the profile of the destination.
Here he emphasized the importance of awareness to the tourism product.
Awareness always plays, awareness is critical because you must raise awareness in order to have conversions. Nobody would consider and book a trip to Dominica if they first and foremost weren't aware of it. So we must try to get into more places so more people can see us. But you don't want to spend hard-earned money in a place where if people are looking for a casino or gambling, you don't want to advertise Dominica because we don't resonate. So again, the pillars of nature, culture, adventure are really what we focus on in a digital space, in a print publication space, and even in terms of TV ads and programs that we would advertise on.
Let's now join Kimani Seja for a recap of this week's headline stories.
Welcome to this week's edition of Flashback. In the headlines this week, over $4 million was approved for road rehabilitation in the Lapland constituency. Infrastructure in the southeast of the island was severely impacted by Tropical Storm Erica. On Tuesday, March 1st, the government of Dominica collaborated with the CARICOM Education for Employment to host a 2-day CARICOM Vocational Qualification Sensitization Program in Dominica. The program aims to strengthen the regional implementation of CVQ and to aid in the implementation of the CVQ in Dominica. This program sensitization will focus on bringing awareness of the CVQ to the private sector. Also on Tuesday, 8 individuals were charged with the responsibility of governing the affairs of the communities of Trafalgar, Shawford and Forkany for the next 3 years. The councillors were sworn in at Council's 7th inaugural meeting. On Wednesday, 2nd March, friends, family supporters and well-wishers converged on the Kenfield Airport to welcome back their honorable leader, who returned home with an honorary doctorate from the lovely professional university in Punjab, India. Also on Wednesday, the Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Johnson Drago, revealed plans to expand the banana industry. GIS News visited several farms in Castle Bruce with the Honorable Minister. 14 farmers from that area received 11,000 plants, totaling 16 acres of land cultivated. On Thursday, 3rd March, His Excellency Charles Savre, President of Dominica, and members of the President's Charity Foundation visited the Grotto Home for the Homeless. The purpose of the visit was to get a first-hand view of the progress of the new building at Beverall. Ambassador Tagliela Taylor is the new ambassador of the United States to Dominica. She replaced Larry Palmer, who served Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean on behalf of the United States for 4 years. The new U.S. ambassador presented her credentials to His Excellency President of Dominica, Charles Savary. Also on Thursday, the Dominica Overseas National Association, DONA, based in London, donated over 2,000 EC dollars to Chances. Franklin Georges made the presentation on behalf of DONA. These were some of the headline stories making the news this week. For details of each of these stories and others, visit our website or Facebook page. Back to Kerdisha.
Thanks, Kimani, and that's the English segment of the news. McPherson St. Luce is up next with Creole Highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, travail qui a en place bien formidable à ce morceau chimique anti-soufouien. Mon parlement pour constituency là, Honorable Johnson Drago, visité le projet là semaine passée.
Je dis ça aussi, nous visitons un chimé, un petit soufouet, où là, comme ce petit soufouet, qui a mangé, il y a un dernier mauvais morceau chimé à l'hôtel, un petit soufouet. Alors c'est mon parlé ça à la messe, parce que c'est comme mon parce que chimé a été mauvais, mais c'est mon même bien content qui consul qui a fait projet ça, et c'est ça nous avons fait un gouvernement ça, nous avons pour consul nous, pour ça faire projet à communauté, à community development. So, c'est comme cela en charge, le gouvernement fait l'argent available, on est content pour faire l'argent available, comme cela, et bien, tout de suite, mon chemin qui est fini.
En même temps, on résident communauté là, bien plaisir pour le projet là.
Et s'il y a son type place, il y a live vers lui, anti-soufouilleur. Mais, chemin est en fond doué. Là, et puis, fallement est coupé en bail. Quand ça a été très mauvais. Comme ça, par le plat et puis village comme cela, venir ensemble, on va constituer une empowerment là, avec 18 000 $ pour nous ça consacrer chimien. On ça actuellement nous là qui travaille et puis nous avons 10 personnes qui employés en leur chimien qui travaille à présent.
On a une nouvelle ambassadeur de l'Amérique pour Dominica, Excellency Linda Swartz Tagliela Taylor, présenté lettre crédentielle pour président Excellency Charles Savary mercredi pendant une cérémonie qui prend place à l'occasion président. En parole et délivrée pendant la cérémonie, ambassadeur Tagliela Taylor dit que la relation là qui a existé en Dominique et puis l'Amérique qui continue. En parole et délivrée, Président Savary remercie l'Amérique pour coopération en affaires de développement jeunesse, santé, changement climatique et puis sécurité. Président Savary aussi mettait attention à ce bateau médical l'Amérique qui était ici qu'à un service pour autant dominicains en plaisir aspect. Et aussi mentionné visite président Obama pour Jamaïque, on a écouté à ces régions-là pour mettre attention à ces énergies qui bien haut en région. Ambassadeur Tagliela Taylor aussi joint et puis premier ministre, Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerritt. Et puis finalement, la sécurité sociale dominicaine conduit un assessment institution là, ça a créé un actuary. Parole ça là, sur le député directeur, M. Augustus Etienne.
Tous les 3 années, nous sommes supposés pour faire un actuary review en Balois. Nous avons qui, il pourra commencer, mais nous avons fait contact avec nous espérons organisation pour informer nous, ça y a besoin de nous pour faire bail. Premièrement, pour la descendre, pour ça taper certaines informations qu'on respecte déjà. Et nous avons tapé assistance à ILO, International Labour Organization, pour un service à la veille. Pour évaluer où le système là été en finissement 2014. Dernier là été fait en 2011, nous avons report là parce que actualité pour SP result census 2011 mais nous avons report ça mais l'autre évaluation est pour en place pour garder le système là sur l'IT en mois de décembre dans les 2014 comme ça peut-être en dans 2-3 semaines nous qu'à tant actuariat pour demander nous ça nous Ça, nous besoin de préparer pour les descendre. Il y a besoin de gouvernement, il y a besoin de trade union. C'est mon ça. Mon gars représenter travail, mon gars représenter employé pour nous ça discuter certains bulletins qui est informé travail là pour faire à ce review là qu'il allait faire pour évaluer le status système là à l'aise là.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson, c'est Luce. Un bon week-end. Au revoir.
Before we leave, here are a few announcements. The Youth Development Division invites applications from suitably qualified persons to fill the following positions: Computer Skills Instructor for Portsmouth, Computer Maintenance Instructor for Portsmouth, Computer Maintenance Instructor for St. Joseph, Landscaping Instructor for Dubla, and Boat Making Instructor for Castle Bruce. Successful applicants will be contracted for no less than 3 months in the first instance and will be required to begin employment in April 2016. Applicants should be knowledgeable in the skill area and possess a certificate and/or at least 3 years of experience. Interested persons should apply to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Constituency Empowerment. Deadline for receipt of applications is Friday, March 11, 2016. Expressions of interest for the Caribbean Development Bank funded project enhancing Dominica's trading environment and export capacity are now being considered. Interested persons are invited to submit expressions of interest for legislative drafting consultant and/or trade and communications consultant. The complete terms of reference and application details can be obtained from the Government of Dominica website at www.dominica.gov.dm under the link Vacancies or by sending an email message to foreignaffairs@dominica.gov.dm. And finally, Dr. Alex Ephraim, Vice President of the Monroe College St. Lucia campus, is extending 5 partial scholarships to the Roseau City Council. Recipients are eligible to $2,500 EC off per semester. Interested persons wishing to pursue further education at Monroe College, St. Lucia campus for the semester commencing 29 April 2016 are requested to submit applications to the City Clerk, Roseau City Council, 21 Long Lane, Roseau by March 29, 2016. Coming up next, how you can be safe on the road. In today's tip, we'll be discussing cell phones and driving and how the two don't go well together. Using a mobile phone or any similar device while driving means that the driver's attention is distracted from the road. Statistics show that you're 4 times more likely to get into an accident if you use a mobile phone while driving, as reaction times for drivers using a phone are around 50% slower than normal driving. Even careful drivers can be distracted by a call or text, and a split-second lapse in concentration could result in an accident. If it's that important, pull over and park safely before using your mobile phone. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Kerdisha St. Louis. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.